Isn't music amazing? It's a universal part of all human culture. It's a form of self-expression that can show every emotion and feeling you can imagine. Music can get your thoughts flowing, get your heart beating, and get your body moving. It means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. It can be used for fun, to tell stories, or to convey messages. It can accompany other forms of art like movies and video games, giving them even more power. Music doesn't even necessarily need to be heard to be felt. Even deaf people can experience it as they can still process vibrations. Music can also be used to heal people in many ways. Did you know that there's an allied health profession called music therapy? This type of therapy is very special and is gaining in popularity. So, what kind of music do you like? Whatever your answer is, I'm sure it's very special to you. Welcome to Games for Healing, the web series where we look at and recommend video games that deal with themes of mental health, life struggles, and life lessons, with some games that simply provide good vibes here and there too. Let's take a look at Wandersong, a platforming puzzle adventure that shows us the power of music. It also has major messages of finding your worth in the world, and just how important peace and togetherness are. Released in 2018 for PC and Nintendo Switch, it would later be released on PS4 and Xbox One in 2019. In this game, we play as what is essentially a living musical instrument in a world that's on its way to destruction. Our protagonist is called the Bard, also known as Kiwi, but you can call them whatever you like. Kiwi plays the vocal cords. The core mechanic of this game revolves around singing. You have constant access to a circle of musical notes called the song wheel. The song wheel is a simple concept with a lot of uses. Just randomly singing for fun can interact with the environment and some NPCs in charming ways. When I played the game for the first hour or so, I thought the music mechanic would be shallow and repetitive. As I kept playing, I realized just how many different things could be done with it. The devs make the most out of it for sure in Wandersong's 10 hours of length, constantly reinventing it and never letting it go stale. It's very context sensitive. You could be singing to communicate with ghosts, to steer a pirate ship, to change the winds, to alter platforms, to influence animals, to cast magic, and so much more. Things stay fresh. As soon as one idea begins to wear out, the game will throw another one at you. You may notice that the song wheel is color coordinated. This is just for show. The developers made sure to make the game accessible for colorblind people. Rather than cues being color-based, they're based on directions. This way the game can be enjoyed by more people. The directions telling you which notes to play also makes the game playable for people with hearing disabilities. You'll be making Kiwi sing by either clicking the notes with a mouse, tapping them with a touchscreen, or moving the cursor with an analog stick. I played the game with a controller. It feels a bit awkward moving from one part of the wheel to another part, unless the notes are right next to each other. I got used to it and got by just fine, but I never fully felt in sync with it. The game is very lenient when it comes to the players messing up singing. You won't find yourself being punished. It's also incredibly forgiving when it comes to platforming and taking hits. Game overs don't exist here. You'll be given chances to try again immediately in a flash. You don't have to be good at games to play this. You don't need to be musically inclined either. Wandersong is about seeing how music affects the world around us. It's not about tasking the player with being a skilled musician. When I made Kiwi sing for the first time, I thought something about the situation felt oddly familiar. It turns out that the Bard makes a cameo appearance in Chicory, A Colorful Tale, as a bird. That doesn't look like a kiwi bird to me. The creator of Wandersong is also the creator of Chicory. You can even make the Bard sing the same wheel of musical notes from Wandersong by circling your brush around them. Speaking of cameos, you can find Oshiro from Celeste as an innkeeper. It turns out that the creators of Wandersong and Celeste are friends. There are all sorts of Easter eggs and references to other games and media sprinkled throughout the experience. How many can you recognize? I counted 2 references to the movie Shrek in my playthrough. Besides for singing, you'll be exploring, platforming, solving puzzles, and talking to many lovable characters. The level design is super linear, so you won't have to worry about getting lost or backtracking. It's all 2D movement in spaces that can be big, but never intimidating. The puzzles are fairly simple and easy to figure out, with some that might have you scratching your head for a little while. All in all, I'd say that the game can be played by anyone, but it does require you to really think sometimes. Not only can you sing, but you can dance as well. There's a character called Mask who teaches you new dance moves. Mask will usually be off the beaten path. Finding them and getting the dance move is entirely optional. Why? Because dancing does absolutely nothing. It's still fun to do though. There's even a dab dance. You'll find lots of goofy stuff like this. The visuals of the game have a charming paper cutout style. Everything looks like it was made with construction paper. It's been said that the visuals were inspired by Kirby's Epic Yarn. They also give off major Paper Mario vibes. I do love a crafty art style. The colors are nice and bright. The characters are all cutely and uniquely designed. It would be an absolute shame if a game about the power of music had bad music. I'm going to say that this isn't the case for Wandersong. There's a wide variety of endearing tracks here to listen to. The sound design is on point too. Every character has their own voice, which they use to make noises, rather than actually speaking. I should mention that Wandersong has a handful of representation for groups that aren't commonly shown in video games. Our protagonist is actually non-binary, which isn't something I've seen a game do before. Kiwi is a plucky optimist who just wants to make the world a better place. You won't see Kiwi hurting anybody or fighting. They're a pacifist who believes that nobody needs to get hurt, which is a major theme of the game, violence not needing to be the answer. They believe that all lives are precious, and wouldn't even go so far as to step on a bug. Kiwi is incredibly likable and their positive attitude is infectious. The bard may be the carefree, happy-go-lucky type, but they have a bad habit of pushing away their own negative thoughts and feelings. While bringing joy to others, Kiwi represses personal issues and doesn't work on them, which isn't a very useful coping mechanism. The bard also regularly feels insecurity about not being the chosen hero and for apparently being a nobody. Then we have my favorite of the main characters, Miriam the Witch. Miriam is incredibly closed off and grumpy, and it turns out that she's lonely. She's impatient and quicker to blast foes with magic than to try to talk things out. She's also very attached to her grandmother as she never met her parents. Her seriousness and cynicism contrasts very well with how upbeat Kiwi is. The two of them slowly forge a very believable and amazing friendship throughout the course of the story. I just wanted to see her happy. Like Kiwi, she has moments where she feels like she doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. There's also a third character who deep down feels like she's a nobody. The chosen hero, Audrey Redheart. She deals with these feelings in a much different way than Kiwi does, and takes on a rather antagonistic role. She plays the typical hero on an epic quest to slay the 7 overseers. You play what in a normal story would be a side character, a silly bard who does things very differently and without violence. She wants to kill them all, while you want to learn a potentially world-saving song from them. Along the journey, you'll meet dozens of likable side characters. They've all got plenty to say. You can usually optionally talk to them multiple times in one instance. Helping them and making friends with them all plays a huge part in the story and the message it tells. The story of the game is that the world is on the brink of ruin. There's an endless cycle where the world ends and is replaced by a new one on a blank slate. With everything nearing its end, the bard has a dream where they meet a messenger of the world's creation goddess. The bard is put to the test with a sword, and we immediately discover that the voice can be mightier than the sword. Iwi is told that they're not the world's chosen hero, but if they can learn the Earth Song, then there may be hope. The land has 7 overseers, each who know a fragment of the Earth Song. You'll go on a journey to meet all of the overseers and learn their pieces of the song. The game is split into 7 chapters, and the chapters offer a wide variety of different set pieces and scenarios. Another thing about it that makes me think of Paper Mario: you'll be helping out gay trolls, sailing the sea with coffee pirates, taking on depression while going against capitalism Santa Claus, trying to stop a war between 2 nations, traveling through the spirit world, and much more. The biggest thing you'll be doing is helping people and making the world a better place. The game may be bright and cheery, but it's filled with dark moments and adversity. This is one of the things that makes the main characters so likable, and what makes the bright moments all the more brighter. The positivity of the game and its protagonist amongst the impending doomsday is good juxtaposition. This is without a doubt a feel-good game with good vibes to spare. I would recommend it to anybody looking for a game that fits that description. It's likely to make you smile, and you can just chill with it. You'll see the game dealing with things like depression, death, loneliness, and overcoming the feeling of nothing mattering. I think that it can offer helpful insight to a lot of different people with a lot of different issues. As for the game's ending, I'll say that it's not as cut and dry as collecting the 7 pieces of the Earth Song. There are twists and turns throughout this seemingly simple story that you will not expect. The ending is very powerful and can't be done justice simply put into words, so I'm not going to do that. I'd rather it if you played the game and felt it yourself. Wandersong teaches us that it's not always about the destination. Sometimes it's about the people you help and bring happiness to along the way. The connections we create, the friendships, the little moments, the good deeds that ripple and inspire more good deeds, and the way that music can bring people together. It shows us that there's always a way to move forward even when there's no hope, and even when you feel like you don't matter. If there seems to be no way to move forward, you can find your own unique way. I'd just like to remind you that you matter. Nobody is a nobody. You do and can bring joy to others and find it yourself. There are people that care about you. I think you should go do yourself a favor today and go listen to some of your favorite music. Until next time, I'll see you later. Stay strong out there.